السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله ثم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى أهله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Alhamdulillah. Now we are here with another Nahw class. So here we are going to be treating Hamzatul Wasl والقطع. Hamzatul Wasl والقطع. Now, so looking at this, some people might be confused. Why do we have Hamzatul Wasl? So it's meant to be Hamzatan al-Wasl wal-Qat'i, meaning the two Hamza of Wasli and Qat'i. But when we have dua like that, that is added to that is a mudaf, the nun will be dropped. But that's not where we are going. So now, so Hamzatul Wasl. So we want to define Hamzatul Wasl and Hamzatul Qat'i and everything connected to them. So awalan, we have Hamzatul Wasl. Hamzatul Wasl. So what is Hamzatul Wasl? So Hamzatul Wasl, so you can check the comment section, inshallah. A note will be dropped there where you can follow also. So Hamzatul Wasl definition. So Hamzatul Wasl is actually an Hamza that is added to a kalima, to a word that is starting with a sukun in order to be able to pronounce the word. You can see here we have Ikra. Just an example. You can see it's starting with a sukun. If you are not to be because of this Hamza, you won't be able to pronounce it. So Hamzatul Wasl is only added to a word that is starting with a sukun in order to be able to pronounce it. So compulsorily, you must see a sukun immediately after every Hamzatul Wasl. Again, Hamzatul Wasl, it is an Hamza that is added to a word that is starting with a sukun so as to be able to pronounce it easily. So compulsorily, you must see a sukun coming after the Hamzatul Wasl. Hope that is getting. Now, Jayid. So now let's see. You can see we have Hamzatul Wasl, Hamzatul Wasl. So this is an Hamzatul Wasl that is written in the Quran. I will explain here. So you can see another Hamzatul Wasl. So you can see Ikra. Ikra. You can see compulsorily a sukun is coming after it. How about this? Ittaqaza. Ittaqaza. So it is actually what? It is actually it's meant to be like this. It's taqaza. You can see. So you see, sukun, Hamzatul Wasl. Compulsorily, you must see a sukun coming after the Hamzatul Wasl, and it is joined together. Why? Because it comes. You have to join it together, same letter. So it has to be joined together. So that's what it's taqaza. It is a sukun coming after it. So that is clear, inshallah. Now, so let's see this. We have Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaqa. So this is an ayah. That means this is how it is written in the Quran. So please note, this is how it is written in the Quran. If it is written in the Quran, Hamzatul Wasl has a small sword on top of it in the Quran. But outside the Quran, you are not allowed to write it like that. I hope that is clear. Now, so another thing to note in Hamzatul Wasl is that when we have Hamzatul Wasl, it is only pronounced at the beginning of the word, at the beginning of the sentence. But if it is encountered in the course of reading, it is dropped. I hope we get that. So see, I said Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaqa. How many Hamzatul Wasl do you have there? 1, 2, 3. But what did I say? Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaqa. I didn't pronounce this. I didn't pronounce this. Why? Because it is in the it is encountered in the course of reading the word, reading the statement. So that's another thing to note. Hamzatul Wasl is pronounced at the beginning. I said Iqra. You can see is the beginning. I didn't mean I want to say this alone. I will say ismi. I didn't mean I want to say this alone. I will say alladhi. Why? Because it is starting, I have to pronounce it. But if it's in the middle, it is dropped. Or if it is in the course of reading, you can see Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaqa. I have dropped it. These two. I don't need it. Because it is in the course of reading. You won't pronounce it. Please note that. So that is Hamzatul Wasl for you. That's Hamzatul Wasl for you. A recap, it is added in the beginning of a word that is starting with a sukun. And it is read or it is pronounced in the beginning of that statement, and it is dropped while you are reading. If it is encountered while you are reading, it is dropped. Clear? Alhamdulillah. Now moving on. Another Hamzatul Qat'i definition. So Hamzatul Qat'i is an Hamza also that has Hamza with, or it is an alif that has Hamza on it. So this is an alif also. But Hamzatul Qat'i is an alif that has Hamza on it. That's Hamzatul Qat'i. So you can see, let's just read what we have there. We have أحب رأس اللبأ في الإناء. I love the top. So ras can mean head, can mean apex. I love the top of milk fil inahi, in the container. Now, so what do you note in this Hamzatul Qat'i? One is that it is having Hamza on top of it or below it. So you can see uhibbu, the Hamza is up. Ras, the Hamza is up. Liba, the Hamza is up. Al-ina, the Hamza is below. One thing to note, the Hamza can either be on top of the letter or below the letter. That's one thing. Another point to note in Hamzatul Qat'i is that it can be in any position. Unlike Hamzatul Wasl, it has to be at the beginning that a word, an harf coming after it is taking sukun. So you can see ikra, it's takhaza. You can see ism. You can see alladhi is actually alif lam lam, like this. So please take note of that. But as for Hamzatul Qat'i, it can appear anywhere. It can appear anywhere. See here, we have Hamza starting at the beginning. We have Hamzatul Qat'i starting at the beginning. It is occurring in the middle. It is occurring in the end. You can see it is occurring in the middle also. I hope you get that. So two things to note. Hamzatul Qat'i is an alif that has Hamza on top of it or below it. That is point number one. Point number two, it can appear in any position in the kalima, in the word. So this is the word uhibbu. Hamzatul Qat'i is in the beginning. Hamzatul Wasli, Hamzatul Qat'i is in the middle. Liba is in the end. Please take note of that. Now, having clarified Hamzatul Wasli and Hamzatul Qat'i. Now, so how do they now occur? Where do they occur? We have, when we did Nahwul Kalima, we have three types of statements. Imma, it is an harf, it is an ismu, or is a frame. Particle, nouns, and verb. Now, so how do Hamzatul Wasli or Hamzatul Qat'i occur in harf? So, please note this, what I'm saying. So, as for Hamzatul Qat'i, in harf, there are many. You can't enumerate. You can't count them. There are many. If it is an harf, there are many. But as for, so this will help us split between Hamzatul Wasli and Hamzatul Qat'i. So as for Hamzatul Wasli, it is only occurring in al-ma'rifa, al-ta'rif. Al that means the. So if it is it is only Hamzatul Wasli that is occurring here. As for other than this, it will be as for in harf. Only al has Hamzatul Wasli in it. So you can see al-baytu is actually two words. It is al and plus baytu, meaning al-baytu. Now, so that's harf. So if you encounter any Hamza in other huruf, other particles, if it is not al, definitely it is going to be Hamzatul Qat'i. So we can have something like inna, this is a particle. Anna, this is a particle. There's something like aina. You get? So you can see what I wrote here now. This is inna, this is anna, this is aina. So if I will clean all of this. This is anna. Because it is anna, it is an harf, and because it is not alif and lam, it's only alif and lam that has Hamzatul Wasli in it. Because this is not alif and lam, definitely I know this is inna. I have to put the Hamza there. This also is anna. This is aina. It will take Hamza. I hope that is clear. Now, so moving on. So that is for harf. That is for harf. So as for asma, as for asma meaning nouns. So again, Hamzatul Qat'i are many. You can't count them. Like, okay, we have this certain number of Hamzatul Qat'i in nouns. No, you can't count it. There are many. So what your focus should be is on Hamzatul Wasli. Hamzatul Wasli has a limited or a countable number of ismu that is taking Hamzatul Wasli. So what are they? So please note this. Al-asma'u al-asharatu, meaning the 10 special nouns that are taking Hamzatul Wasli. Other nouns don't take it. Other nouns take Hamzatul Qat'i, normal, anasun, like that. I hope we get. So, or Ibrahim, you can see Hamza is coming out. It is definitely Hamzatul Qat'i. But these 10 special nouns are the only one taking Hamzatul Wasli. So let's see. We have Ismun. You can see it is people do make mistakes. They usually write Hamzatul Qat'i, that meaning they add Hamza to it. So it's incorrect. So Ismun, Ibnun, Ibnatun. The definition: Ismun is name, Ibnun, son, Ibnatun, female child, more like Bintun. So female child, you can either say Bintun or Ibnatun. So Ibnatun is Hamzatul Wasli. We have Ithnani, two. This is masculine, so you can say Beitani, Ithnani, two houses. So Ithnatani, two also, but it is used for feminine. I can say Hakibatani, Ithnatani, two bags. You can see it's feminine. So we have Imru'un, man, Imra'atun, woman, Imunun. This is used to swear. It's used to swear. You can say someone can say Imunullahi la akhulanna alaylan. I swear by Allah that I'm going to eat at night. So it's used to swear. And sometimes they usually remove this nun. It can be Imunullahi. I swear by Allah. So please, that's that. Istun is butok or is called anus. Istun. Then Ibnumun is the same thing as Ibnun, because if you remove this mim, you have this, actually it means the same thing. Ibnumun, son, Ibnun, son. So these 10 special nouns are the only one that have Hamzatul Wasli at their beginning. And you know, like we defined before, Sukun. Sukun has to come after it. Sukun, 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 like that. But aside these 10, other nouns that you see will definitely have Hamzatul Qat'i. So these are the nouns that have Hamzatul Wasli. And this also, what's this? Masdaru Khumasi and Masdaru Sudasi. Oh, I hope you get Masdaru Khumasi and Masdaru Sudasi. Also, their Masdar has Hamzatul Wasli in them, not Hamzatul Qat'i. Please take note of that. So with this, Ikhtalafa, Ikhtilafun, Istighfara, Istighfarun. So those are the nouns, because it's definitely a noun. So aside this category, meaning the Masdaru Khumasi and Masdaru Sudasi, or Al-Asma'ul Ashara, these 10 special nouns, aside from these two categories, other nouns that you see must take Hamza. It must definitely be Hamzatul Qat'i. Like I said, Anasun, Ibrahimun, Ibrahimu, Anasun. You can see is definitely going to be, you can see Anasun, like that. So please take note. Now, so moving on. So after having defined this, meaning in harf, how they occur in harf, how they occur in ism, al-mulahazah. Take note. I want to point us to a common mistake people do make while adding. So al-mulahazah, what I mean here by is that while adding alif and lam to ism generally, while adding alif and lam to ism general, like asma, asma, while adding alif and lam. So people do make mistake that despite the fact that they have added alif and lam to something like ism, you add alif and lam to it, and they will now go and bring Hamzatul Qat'i into it. Why? It is wrong, because we have al plus ism. So what should we have? We should have this, not this. It is wrong. You can't write this Hamza here. It is wrong. So please take note of that. And this also, because it's coming from, this is Masdaru as-Sudasi. You can't write Hamza with it. So it is definitely wrong. You have to omit it. So this is al-ismu. Now, so how do you now vowelize it? Because people do make mistakes. How do you vowelize it? So it will be what? Al-ismu. Al-ismu. So it is the lam there that is going to take the kasra. You won't write Hamza beneath it. It is wrong. So al-ismu. So that's right. You are going to write it. I think you are going to write this one too. To be what? Al-istifhamu. Al-istifhamu. So please take note of that while adding alif and lam to this asma. So that is that. So another thing to note, we said the occurrence of Hamzatul Wasli in harf, in ismu, then in fi'l now. In fi'l now. Now, so Hamzatul Wasli will occur also only in two cases. One is that in the amru of sulasi, like the imperative verb of sulasi, and then the madi and amru of and Khumasi and Sudasi verbs. So three things. Amru of Sulasi. So I said three things. Amru of Sulasi, Hamzatul Wasli we occur there. Madi and Mudari, Madi and Amru of Khumasi and Sudasi verb, meaning 5 letters and 6 letters. So see, Amru of Madi, Amru of Sulasi actually. So Ijlis, you can see this is Amru because you know it's 3 letters. Jalasa Yajlisu, Ijlis. So Hamzatul Wasli. Then Madi and Amru of Khumasi, Ikhtalafa, Ikhtalif. Ikhtalafa, Ikhtalif. Hamzatul Wasli. Then Madi and Amru also of Sudasi, Istaghfara, Istaghfir. So those are the cases where we have Hamzatul Wasli occurring in fi'l. Amru of Sulasi, Madi and Amru of Khumasi and Sudasi, meaning 5 letters and 6 letters. All that is clear. Now, Jayyid. So now, Al-Mulahaza. You know, we said in fi'l, this is what occurs there. So Al-Mulahaza, again, something to take note of. So you only write Hamzatul Qat'i in fi'l if it is for this wazn af'ala alone and its derivatives, meaning af'ala, you know, example is like aslama, then the amru, aslim, or islam, or is masdar, islam. You can see Hamzatul Qat'i, because what? It is the derivative of this wazn af'ala. Aside this one, you can't see any other Hamzatul Qat'i in fi'l. I hope you get. So that's another thing to take note. So mulahaza, af'ala, Hamzatul Qat'i only occur in fi'l if it is for this wazn af'ala and its derivative, meaning the madi, the amru, and then the masdar. Aslama, aslim, islamun. Take note of that. Now, last point that I have here is what? Harakatu Hamzatul Wasli. So I want to give Hamzatul Wasli haraka. What haraka will I give it? Now, so we have what we call Mumtian rule. Hamzatul Wasli can take fatha, can take dhamma, can take kasra, but will never ever take a sukun. The Hamzatul Wasli can take fatha, can take dhamma, can take kasra, but will never take a sukun. Now, so in the case of Hamzatul Wasli taking a fatha, only one case. That is when it is al, meaning al that means the. So if it is starting al, so it will take fatha al bayt. You can't say il baytu or ul baytu. It is wrong. If it is alif and lam, that means the. So it will take a fatha al baytu. That's number one. So if it's going to take a dhamma, 2 cases. Where Hamzatul Wasli will take a dhamma, 2 cases. It is where the amru of Sulasi, where its ainul fi'l is taking a dhamma. The amru of Sulasi, where its ainul fi'l is taking a dhamma, Hamzatul Wasli will take a dhamma. Example. So we have dakhala. What's the mudari? Yadkhulu. What's the amru? Udkhul. Udkhul. You can see the ink I used. So I said udkhul. This is amru of Sulasi. Okay. Ainul fi'l, is it taking dhamma? Yes. Okay. Hamzatul Wasli will take a dhamma. Another example will be unsur. Okay, let me write this first. I have unsur. So this is amru of Sulasi. Okay. The ainul fi'l is taking what? A dhamma. Then this will take a dhamma. Another example. Let's say we have ukhruj. So how will I know what haraka this Hamzatul Wasli is going to take? Ainul fi'l, this raw ain, you know, fa'ala, this ain is taking a dhamma. Okay, because it's taking a dhamma, this amru Sulasi is going to take a dhamma. I hope that is clear. So that is the second case. Then the last case is when we are forming for Sulasi for the Khumasi or Sudasi in passive form. If you have a verb that is Khumasi 5 letters, Sudasi 6 letters in passive form, meaning majhul. So it's going to be and it's starting with an hamza and starting with an hamza, meaning we have ikhtalafa. So it is starting with an hamza. But we want to form the majhul, this passive form. You know, ikhtalafa means they disagreed. But we want to say people disagreed. We don't know who. So ukhtulifa. Again, istaghfara. It's starting with an hamza. But we want to form the passive. You know, istaghfara means what? You sought for forgiveness. But I want to form the passive form. Ustughfira, meaning what? Forgiveness was sought for. We don't know because it is passive. So it is only in these cases, yani, Khumasi and Sudasi, that is starting with an Hamza and is now in passive form. So that is where we are going to have the Hamzatul Wasl here taking Dhamma. So you can see these two now, Fatha and Dhamma. So any other thing aside these two, meaning you want to give Hamzatul Wasl and Haraka, it is not Al and Alif and Lam, and it is not Amru of Sulasi, where its Ainul Fi'l is Dhamma, and it's not Khumasi and Sudasi that is starting with an Hamza in passive form. Okay, it's not both any of these category. It is definitely going to take Kasra. It is definitely, and anything is definitely going to take Kasra. So let's see. I want to say if I'm to say I write this now. This is Ifta'ala. This is like I want to say Ifta'ala. Or let's say I don't know what I know. This is Ta'ala. But what will this take? It's not and it's not any of this. So definitely it's going to take a Kasra. Or I say I have some of those categories I have here. This is Eastone. So it is